This to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
And welcome back to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. You know, we're going to do what we always do, make fun of Corey for not hitting his locks, and talk about how the Saints lost the game.
It's just cruel, man. Just cruel. Every week.
This one was brutal.
Putting all out effort, man.
This one was just...
7 yards, 7 or 8 yards away. I think he ended up with the over-under was 216.5. And for those of you who didn't turn into the preview, my lock was take the over on Josh Allen's pass yards, which was 216.5. He ended up with 209. And he had a bunch of little plays where he could have easily gone over. But such has been life with the locks this year. I mean, last year there was a lot that weren't even close. But they've been knocking at the door this year. So
I thought we had it. I thought you had it.
Actually, you know what? I blame you.
First half looked really good for you.
I blame Max for not hitting because we're in the Discord chatting it up, and Dan, shout out Dan, was like, "Oh, what's the lock this week again?" And Max was like, "Oh, Corey's going to hit it by the beginning of the second half."
I mean, the way that drive went.
Yeah, but you said it.
Oh, so it's my fault. Got it.
Absolutely. You said it. If you didn't say it, it would have been fine.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I missed a parlay I had where I had Josh Allen getting 100 yards passing in the first half. And he had 110.
Yeah.
And 100 yards passing in the second half. He had 98.
Damn.
Yeah.
I considered taking doing the over-under on the game as the lock, and 48.5. I'm like, I know if I go over, the game's going to end 31-17, which was my score prediction. And the over would have just been barely perfect with that last field goal we got. It should have... What should have happened, and typically would have happened, is if I had bet the over, then Groupie would have missed the last field goal to keep it at the under at 48 points. But I didn't bet it, so he makes the field goal. They hit the over. There it is. But I was only 2 points off in the score.
Yeah, you were 2 points off. I was 5 points off. Max, what were you? Only 9 points off.
We were all close.
We were all had the game in the range of.
So I'll take the point on that. Good deal.
Well, hold on. What do we have? 13, 14. So Corey and I had the Saints cover, and you were the one who didn't.
I said no.
So we got that at least.
Yeah. Nothing like the Saints covering. Feels good. It's
but I think we can go ahead and get this out of the way. There's no offensive MVP. There's no defensive MVP.
Yeah.
And we all got the Bills winning.
Oh, wait,
so
we didn't pick him, but I think we would.
Wait a minute. That's right.
We would award it to Senker.
Yeah.
I mean, Grando had a good game. I went with Grando. He had a good game.
Grando had a sack. Cam had a sack. Brzee had a sack.
If anyone gets it, it's got to be Senker.
But Senker, I think,
he missed the tackle on the long touchdown. He got beat on a corner route too on one of the long pass plays. He played great. Don't get me wrong. That pick was awesome.
He did miss a tackle on the long
run.
score.
He was the one who he shook free to break all the. Mario got his arm on him and he did the spin, and then Senker grabbed him and he just ran through Senker's tackle and scored. But
a great. I mean, 3 pass defense. I don't think anybody else had. I don't know if anyone else had any. I guess Warner technically had one because he dropped the interception. Good job, Pete.
I mean, he has to catch that ball.
Don't worry, Nick. I'm not coming at Pete this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he was a little bit of a ghost this game, honestly. 3 tackles. I didn't see Pete much. It's weird because I felt like the defensive line wasn't playing bad, but then you look up and everything the defensive line's supposed to do was kind of bad. So we gave up a boatload of rushing yards for the first time.
I had a feeling. I mean, I wasn't feeling good enough to predict it before the game just because of how seemingly well we were doing with stopping the run. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, James Cook is just a completely different style runner than any of the guys we faced so far, and probably different than a lot of the guys in the NFL. He's just, he's kind of like what AK looked like as a rookie, but even slimmer in a way.
He's very slim. He's 190.
Yeah, but he's so shifty and fast, and he squeaks through those tiny openings. They didn't have to open up too much in terms of running lanes for him to get his.
Yeah, a little bit of that Le'Veon Bell, like kind of just dancing around. And
Yeah, but
I think the
he
difference
hits
is
it. He hits it.
Yeah.
he hits it though. Yeah.
He's a harder runner, but he's always moving forward with his cuts too. And then if you give him any space, he's fast as shit.
Well, hold on. So let's litigate this now.
I want to say this on defense. We gave up 9.5 yards per pass attempt. We gave up 5.2 per running attempt. It's a pretty rough statistic.
So you're pushing the no MVP.
I'm good either way. If y'all just want to give it to him because he's a rookie, I'm not going to fight y'all. I'll let y'all both decide it.
It doesn't affect our stat line because nobody picked him. I would give it to him.
Well, it does because Max and I picked no MVP.
So we would get a point.
Oh, well,
So it does
think,
matter.
I think you definitely have to give it to Senker, but
Well,
I didn't think it was. I thought the pick was an incredible play. He came from way over. Josh Allen thought he had one-on-one coverage deep. He came from the opposite
over,
hash
yeah.
and got there. Again,
his
that's also one of those plays that for Josh Allen, that was a smart play. That was 3rd and 10. Chuck
Like
it
a punt.
45 yards. It's a punt. No big deal. And that was really their only – that in the series they got sacked twice on were their only 2 series where they didn't at least move the ball a little bit, take some clock. It was just a good team versus a bad team, for being honest. But
I mean, he had
you know what, though? I'm going off of the stats.
no one
we
else-
gave up too much on everything. I'm saying no MVP.
the only one who's registered for pass defense was Chris Rump. So Senker had 3. He was the only guy that had pass defense on your team. He had the interception, 5 tackles coming out of the safety position. I mean,
I hear
y'all do what you want, but that guy.
I mean, you can make the argument for Granderson with that same argument, though, if you think that's an MVP performance.
Well,
Again,
if I really wanted to take it in here, I'd make the argument for Granderson because I actually picked him. But I
well, I know. I'm
but
just
I think-
saying those are similar games. He had 5 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, another QB hit. But to me, I didn't think anyone was impactful. I don't think our secondary stopped
Well,
anything.
it's not the most impactful guy of the game. It's most valuable.
But that wasn't. We drew a
kind
line
of-
and we said, if we give up a bunch of shit and we get blown out, does an exceptional performance warrant an MVP?
But we didn't get
I'm
blown
saying
out.
it's not an exceptional performance. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was an exceptional performance. I think
agree.
it was a good game. I think it was a good game.
I'm
I
going
disagree.
no MVP on my vote.
All right, well.
What are you saying?
Oh, fuck. You put me in the middle? You want to flip a coin?
I don't see how you take a rookie starting in one of his, like second game he's starting and he turns in that performance and say it's not exceptional.
But now you're putting like footnotes on it. It's not just, was it a great game? Was it an
No, I
MVP
mean-
performance?
For week to week, yeah, absolutely. We've given MVPs for less. We've absolutely given MVPs to guys who've
Okay.
done less.
But given what
Here's
we
where I
came up with last
Right.
week, you have to look at it from that perspective.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know that's on the table.
No.
but I
What I'm
think-
saying is wipe out the we've given it out for less argument.
I mean,
because that's not applicable.
turnover in terms of keeping your team in it, given what kind of team we have, is huge. So that is highly impactful. He got our only turnover of the game. It was the first turnover the Bills
He was
gave
also
up
the person that
all
the
year.
if opening score pinballed off of and went to. The guy broke his tackle.
Yeah.
50-yard.
The biggest play of the game.
I mean,
I didn't write down some of the debates we were having. Like, to me,
are we saying that the Bills don't score, like that they don't? The final score is different if Senker makes some tackles.
that's my point. No, the score is not any different.
Yeah.
From anything Senker did, the score is 0 different. That's what I'm saying.
We didn't score on that drive that he got the pick, did we?
Well, no, the pick was a punt, so it was a really nice play, but it wasn't an impactful
Right, my point
play.
is, though, we didn't do anything with it, right?
No, of course
Right,
not.
okay.
I don't have the play-by-plays on his 3 pass defense, but those were. I remember them being timely, but I don't have the play-by-play in front of me.
I was thinking at the
Corey's
time.
fighting like hell to not lose that point.
Well, I was thinking it at the time during the
I
game.
just think it's kind of ridiculous we take that performance and say it's not MVP worthy.
Well, this is why I brought it up, because I said, if we're giving up 30 a game, are we going to ever pick MVPs, or are we just going to say it takes some miraculous game? That's why I brought it up.
I guess I would have thought this through more, especially now that I have a point on the line. Seriously, like, I feel like the no MVP should be a little bit more of a release valve, break glass in case of fire than
Then we have to change our criteria, because what I was suggesting at the time was, do we just take the best player on each side of the ball? Whether it's an MVP performance or not, do we just pick the best player? Because then at least we have someone we can pick every time. This
that
game
probably makes more sense.
That's what we've always done.
But that's what we said no
we
to
talked
last
ourselves
week when
into
I brought
it
it up.
last week.
No. There's a
it was
huge
so
difference
bad.
between
I was getting
taking
frustrated.
best player on defense versus MVP. No one was MVP. Now, best player argument between probably Senker,
Senker, Granderson. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those two. So why don't we eliminate the MVP part of the description and say best offensive player, best
Just
defensive,
best, yeah.
best offensive performance, best defensive performance.
The whole point I brought it up was we kept saying no MVP, and I'm like, why are we picking MVPs? We're not a good team. Like, how many times are we actually going to pick someone?
How many guys are bringing value?
Right,
to the
like
equation?
enough where we would give it over. Okay, we lost by 10, but like he played
Yeah.
pretty good. He had 5 tackles and an interception.
So
I'm gonna
it's
give him a freaking player of the game.
Okay, so we're going to go
Semantics,
offensive
yeah.
player of the game, defensive player of the
Player of the
game.
game.
where we have to pick one. I
We
prefer
have to
that.
pick one.
We
Let's
have
do
to
that.
pick
Let's do
one.
that.
Okay,
Not
we're switching.
MVP. Yeah.
All right.
Now, for purposes of this week,
It's a half point this week. We'll split it.
Okay, Ryder Cup.
It's a tiebreaker at the end of the year.
All
so
right.
you and I get a half a point.
Half point only. Are you good with that? Or are you not good with that?
Wait, what are you?
Because I would say no MVP, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna split it because I'd rather us pick MVPs every game.
If y'all get a half point, I get a half point.
You didn't pick anything right. You even said Sanker would be the one you give it to.
Sanker's the best player
You didn't pick Sanker. Why would you get a half a point?
because I get a point.
No, you don't get a point. You get nothing. You had
This is
two.
the redistribution of wealth.
Just because. Come on, man.
No. So that brings the total
then
Nick
what-
to 5.5, me to 2.5, Corey to 2. Back in the rear, where you belong, where you been. the
Well, why do
basement.
y'all get half points?
Because we said no MVP.
We said no MVP on defense. So we're splitting the hairs on it instead of giving
Fine.
a point for it.
That's fine. Comeback's loading.
Yeah.
That would have. Well, you still come back basically if you.
You're still early. Still
It's
got
very
time.
early.
It's very
Yeah,
early.
we got
Very
time.
early. And then we'll just go ahead and talk about the lock. You want to handle this one? Actually, give a.
Well, we just did. I thought, but I mean,
Well, no, go ahead and
we
and
did.
shout out the. You like shout outs, so shout out the wonderful sponsor.
yep. Thanks again to our sponsor, Norton Leatherman Spine Center of Louisville, Kentucky, Dr. Paul Silvestri, who's
Generously funding your.
his faith has not wavered, which is impressive by itself. Maybe his faith has wavered. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, look, they have been close. You know, we're due. It's coming. I can feel it.
I like that bet. I
this
actually
week?
bet it. I bet it on my own. So I was with you on that one.
He really was. He came out the gate so hot. It
He
was just like,
easily could have gotten a lot. And the reason I
mean-
thought you had it in the first half is the game was close. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, he's got 120,
And I was-
130 yards and the game's close.
Yeah.
He's just going to bury us in the second
kind of
half.
pissed about our failure to convert and score more because it would have made. I mean, I obviously wanted the Saints to score more, but it's like it also would have made him have to throw it.
A little bit more.
He definitely would have had. What was that? I forget the ending sequence sealed it, but there was a chance where. What was it? When they
Before
got
the field
first
goal,
down,
he threw it on third down. They
Yeah.
tried to actually pick up the third down when they didn't need to. They could have just knelt
Yeah.
it, kicked the field goal, and the game's basically over.
Yeah.
He did try and throw it in the flat, but we got a good rush,
Yep.
and he threw it on
Yep.
the ground. You could have got it on that play because 7 yards? Is that what it was? 7 yards short?
I think
8
it
yards
was
short?
Cook
8.
caught it and fell down after like a yard. It pissed me off because that cost me the bet.
Yeah.
It's-
And it cost you your
Yeah.
lock.
There's a lot. They also were. I mean, look, we played them tight, and I give the team props for being competitive especially after what we saw in Seattle. But there were definitely some points where the Bills looked off, or Allen, just I don't know, like
They looked off.
I think-
Defense does not look good.
We'll get into both sides, I guess. We'll start with offense, but I think what Max just brought up was the whole game. Like you said, Josh Allen came out sluggish. He did not play well in the first half. He still hit some big plays. The long short pass that went to Shakir all the way down to the sideline. He got 50-yard touchdown, 40-some yard touchdown right out of the gate, but he wasn't himself. He threw it right in Pete's hands. He threw the interception on third down, which I don't think that was necessarily a poor play by him. I think that was a smart play. Take a chance. It's like a punt. But when they gave us the opportunities, we had the great opening drive, right? They had 2 touchdowns on their first 2 open drives. We get the ball back after that. We punt it back to him. That's when he throws the interception. We're on the Buffalo 49. We punt.
yeah.
Okay. That's one. You're like, okay, there's an opportunity. You couldn't even get 15 yards and get a field goal out of it. Got 0 off the turnover. We give him the ball back. We pin him back with 2 sacks, I believe. Maybe this sequence is a little off. That's where Cam got a sack and Granderson, I think, on the same drive. We get the ball back on the Buffalo 49. We get 13 yards. We do get a field goal. Okay. We kick off. We pin them back again, I think, with a penalty. They kicked us. We get the ball at Buffalo's 40. Now we did drive down. We throw the Olave pick. So we had 3 drives at midfield and in the first half, and we got 3 points. That's where the game was lost, right there. And that's, to me, the a lot on the quarterback. This is the first game, I think we said last week, you can't say he lost us a game. I kind of feel like he lost this game for us. Because if he could have put a few things together, and there were plays out there. The scramble play where everyone was pretty hyped about on Twitter, it looked like there was a wide open crossing receiver. Wide open. Like, we're talking massive play down inside their 20. Mm-hmm. He didn't see it. They're running across his vision. He runs basically straight behind them.
Yeah.
And it was a good play. He got a first down, 10 yards, picked it up. But he was missing stuff yesterday. There were people there.
There's some people going through it. Their typical Twitter film review. And some of them are valid where, the play where Kamara got absolutely rocked on the check down. He had Olave on an in breaker. And the play timed up. I mean, and I'm seeing it's like encouraging and discouraging at the same time. Is I remember watching Kellen Moore's offense with Philly last year, and especially when we played Philly, like he would draw up these plays where you rarely see receivers in the NFL that wide open. Like I get, finding some find soft spots in zone, some just beat their guy man on man, but it was like he would draw these plays up to where, for whatever reason, the defense loses a guy and there's a 15-yard radius around this receiver. I'm seeing that in our offense, and you're seeing some of these people who are screen grabbing the film reviews. It's like those looks are there, so something is working with the route tree and his play calling. He's setting it up to where the defenses are in position to leave guys open like that. But to your point, Rattler's not seeing it, or if he does see it, he's too hesitant to throw it.
Or he flat out misses it.
Or misses it when he does try to throw it. Because on that one where, it's just one example, but the one where Kamara got rocked, he decided to throw it to Kamara over the middle. But if he had released it at the same time throwing towards Olave, the ball would have continued to travel on that same longitude. And Olave was on an in breaker from about the hash mark towards the middle. And
He's
it would
not
have been,
seeing it. He's just not
and there
seeing
was
it.
no one around him. The same, similar play to Cooks. There were multiple points in the game where that was simply the case, or he just either didn't see it or chose not to throw it.
The Cooks throw itself.
Yeah.
Again, and
terrible.
Cooks, that was almost an incredible play. He didn't pick that ball up until it was like 2 feet from him.
And
it
that
was
one's
crazy.
so perplexing too, because unlike the Olave miss in the Niners game, the Cooks throw, it wasn't that it was behind him laterally. He didn't put enough arm on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, we know you have the arm. You just threw it low. You didn't put enough air on it. And it's another instance of the accuracy issues. And, I don't like talking bad about Rattler, because when you watch him play, the dude plays with so much effort, so much intensity. He plays with all the intangibles, which, I love to talk about, that you want to see in a quarterback. But when push comes to shove, it's like, look, and Kellen Moore talked about it, we know we're going to have, it was in game 1, game 2 press conference, where it was like, missed opportunities are going to happen, missed ops, that's part of the game. And it's like, those have continued to happen. And I know he can't be satisfied or happy with
not if you want to win games.
Continuing to miss those opportunities.
Yeah, watching this game, I felt like if we would have had just competent quarterback play for the first half, we're ahead.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's just the game plan was sound, the execution for the most part. We were able to run the ball. You had two running backs with about 70 yards each. You had the quarterback had about 50 to 60 yards. We were running the ball. And the plays were there to be made in the passing game, and for whatever reason, they were missed in some cases. And then there was the Philly special, which Olave threw an interception. That's another one that should have been points. We were in this game. And honestly, it felt like weeks 1 and 2 where we were competitive and we were scrappy. We were there at the end. This one, not as much at the end, but we were there for most of the game. And that's all you can ask for, because that's arguably the best team in the NFL that we just hung with for a good solid 3 quarters.
Let's look how we hung with them. What have we been talking about of how we have to set up the offense?
Run the ball, spread the run.
Lead with the run. This game, 34 runs, 28 passes. He was sacked 3 times, so call it 31 passes. 34-31. Much better than what we were doing.
Great balance. The game, look, how many, we only had 3 penalties? 3 or 4?
We had at least 3, I think.
I think it was 4 at the end.
We, the first drive is indicative of, we talked about it.
There were no
4 for 41.
We talked
4 for 41, and there were no pre-snaps.
In the preview, the Bills have been allowing teams to run on them.
Yeah.
And yes, the Ravens have a huge rushing, but they had huge numbers. We almost matched their numbers in this game. surprisingly, we didn't have a single runner get 169 like the King.
Right.
But, we
that's the one thing that
makes
makes this worse for me. That's a very banged up defense right now.
Yes.
And he couldn't see the plays when they were wide open. Again, now I'm not blaming all the offense on the problems with the offense. Him, I mean, he throws a primary read out route to Olave right in his hands on third down. It bounces off him like stone, and that's a first down. That's a drive over that should have been continued. That's not on him. It was a perfect throw.
Yeah.
But like Corey was saying, anytime he gets past that first read, you can see the demeanor change. It's frantic. His eyes aren't seeing the field. He either breaks off and runs, or he checks down to some short.
And we're starting to. It's there's been a lot. I've seen some statements which I agree with that. If Carr was doing the same thing, we'd be all up on his ass. We kind of were. I mean, he kind of was doing some. I don't know if the accuracy issues were really the same, but he had instances. I'm seeing the same things in terms of reacting to pressure, where there's like this ghost pressure that he's reacting to. There were a couple times where the pressure wasn't that bad, but it was like he sensed that it was worse than it was, and he threw it early rather than hanging in there a little bit longer. And I'm not saying he's unwilling to do it. We've seen Rattler stand in there and get absolutely annihilated as he's throwing the ball. I know he's willing to do it, but it's a consistency thing with that. And
it could also be fear of turning the ball over and not wanting to take even small chances just to avoid the big mistake. But you're not moving the ball.
Yeah. Now, I know we couldn't. No team's going to try to. You're not going to run it every single play, but when you look at the first drive, we had one pass on the first touchdown drive to Juwan. That was it. Everything else was a run. And then the next drive we had where we punted, we were getting first downs, run a 7-yard pass, run 11-yard pass, 5-yard run on a first down. Took us to the Buffalo 45. Or no, first down. It was first and 10, 5-yard run took us to Buffalo 40. We tried to pass, get sacked. Try to pass again, intentional grounding. It's like.
Yeah, I think the annoying thing is the discourse that's floating around on social media. I saw it on Reddit yesterday. I think I put it in the Discord just because it was driving me crazy. People, there's constant parade of posts every single day talking about like, oh, this isn't Rattler's fault, blah, 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 blah. The same story that we hear over and over again. The scheme is failing him. The coaches are failing him. The surrounding cast is failing him. It's like bullshit. If you watch him play, you see that he is failing himself.
Yeah.
And look, I don't want to pick on him. The guy's tough as nails. He seems to be a good teammate. All the players seem to like him.
Yeah,
but he just can't make these passes you have to make.
If it wasn't visible that how much he gives a shit and how hard he actually plays, then it would be incredibly easy to pick on the QB aspect, the passing aspect of it. But he's also in a tough spot because he's got a really small margin of error given the performance of our wide receivers, especially Olave. Because you never know when Olave is going to bust out and drop an important pass. Because you look at the next drive after we punted, or the one after the interception, you're set up in good field position at the Buffalo 49. The first one's a no-yard pass. Then we got a 2-yard run. Okay, so it's 3rd and 8. We actually had a good play call to Olave. It would have, and Olave just straight up drops it. And on 3rd and 8, if he had caught it, we would have been at the Buffalo 40. Yeah. Arguably,
probably a field goal.
And you're down 7 at that point. Buffalo punted on their next possession, and we kicked the field goal after that. So you're talking about it was nice to be 14-10 heading in the half, getting the ball back, but it could have been a 1-point game going in at minimum.
The thing I just hate though is Dan put up an amazing tweet. I want to say it was a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, where it was the meme from that movie Civil War, and he said, "What kind of Saints fan are you?"
Yeah.
And it was the perfect metaphor for our fan base right now because until we get someone like a Breeze, which will never happen again, but until we get that quarterback who I guess is good enough to have that 100% approval rating, there is going to be a segment over here on this side, there's going to be a segment of fans on this side, and everyone is going to be at each other's throats about their guy once they pick a side.
Yeah.
I just hope to hell someone can step up. I don't care who it is. Would love for it to be Rattler right now. If it's not him, would love for it to be Shuck. If it's not him, would love for it to be whoever they pick this year or next year in the draft. Someone needs to step up so we can all stop arguing about this because it's ridiculous.
I think it's one of these things that we're kind of overcomplicating, but it really is. To me, it's it's getting to the point of looking really simple. I think we're starting to see Rattler's performance level out. Like, this is just, you could.
Well, no, he's better than last year. We saw him improve.
He's better than last year. So I think he has made a jump.
Yeah,
but I think that jump very well may have plateaued.
I think so too.
And so it's kind of like, you asked me about my alarm. You didn't ask me about my calls. Anyway.
I did ask you about your ringer.
Yeah. But it's whether or not it's plateaued. And so, I think that it's simple to me. It's either the coaches are just okay with this, or you're going to see a change. Because if we had a better supporting cast, if the whole team was a playoff worthy team, then we'd be right to be really pissed about this kind of QB play, because we'd say this is like the one thing that's singularly holding us back. But given that we're not really expected to do anything, I think it's kind of like, all right, coaches, well, it's up to y'all. This is what you got. I think I said it before a couple of weeks ago. I really don't think Kellen Moore has any intention of picking a quarterback in the 2026 draft. Just from all of his comments about QB development in the NFL, talking about how it doesn't really happen. And I want to say Kevin O'Connell was kind of saying the same thing. And then you look at the two backgrounds of the two of those coaches, they were both drafted quarterbacks into the NFL who were basically out of the NFL after about 2 or 3 seasons. And, looking at it from their perspective, they're probably thinking, the NFL doesn't do a good job of developing quarterbacks, which they don't. You see it on rare occasions where someone like a Pat Mahomes or a Jordan Love actually gets to sit for a season or 2 or 3, whatever it may be. Aaron Rodgers sat for a few years. That used to be the norm back in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. You don't see that at all anymore. And the NFL really doesn't develop QBs. Like the college systems that they're coming from, Well, no, but my point is
Mahomes, Lamar.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not trying to veer off path on this. My point is, I don't think. No,
not Fields. Sorry, Hurts.
I don't think that
none of them started.
I don't think that Kellen Moore is going. Yeah. I think he's going to give Shuck next year. Yeah. But I think to your hot take or prediction or whatever we called it, there's a good chance Rattler starts this whole season.
He's at that level where he isn't.
I feel like Kellen Moore is going to give Shuck the longest runway to get it right.
Because it's going to have to me, I guess my opinion on it, it's going to have to be clear that Rattler is the reason we're losing the game. And it's kind of like
he doesn't turn the ball over.
It's like I said before the Bills game. Like, I don't think whatever happens against the Bills is going to decide whether Shuck comes in the next week, because it's the Bills. And at the end of the day, you're going to fall back on the fact that they're Super Bowl contenders, possibly the best team in the league this year. And so now, you look at a game, after what we saw happen Sunday, where we competed, we hung in there. And if he makes throws, it's a different story. And we're arguing that he lost us the game, but there are also arguments to be made that if the defense could actually tackle, we don't lose the game. Or if Olave just runs and doesn't throw an interception, we get more points on the board. There were other things. Or if
I think you can say that, but I think in a game where your defense gets you the ball on the positive side of the 53 times and you get 3 points, you got to put it on the offense somewhere. At some point.
That's what I'm saying. The offense, yes, but I think it's not at the point yet, because Rattler himself continued drives for us during the game. I mean, he continued drives for us that led to points, and so you could point to his negatives, which I think are glaring. I don't think they're negatives that show, he has to get rid of these if he ever wants to be a true starter. So until they're there, he's not at that level, in my opinion. But he also did some positives. So until it's clear that he's offering you absolutely nothing, I think it has to get to that threshold before they put Shuck in.
I'm at the point. I think he's shown you quite a bit. I think what we have as options is part of the problem. And maybe Shuck's not ready. Maybe that's fair. I mean, that's sad, because that's not why we drafted a guy that old. The idea was that he was the most ready guy in the draft. Well, so if he's not, then that's not a great sign to me.
That's a fan one. I think that's a fan-created notion, though, because Kellen Moore's never said...
No, I'm talking national media were saying that. He's the most NFL ready, or whatever the hell that means.
Because he's old. That's why they're saying that.
Just because he's old. But I'm going to push back on Kellen a little bit. I think he says that mostly because it fits the narrative right now. And I get it. That's how you deal with the media. But that's just not a true statement to me at all. I think the way the college's game is played now is way more pro ready than it was in the past. That's the big reason why guys can come in and play. Some. And in addition, I think the guys who need development, there have been plenty of examples that have been developed in the last 10 years that are all stars now. Like I said, Lamar, even Jordan Love sat for years. Pat sat a year. Some of the best quarterbacks were allowed to sit because they felt they weren't ready. I think when you have the situation we have now, that's really the only thing you can say that makes sense, right? Like you have to
saying that he's learning.
Like we're developing. That's what we're doing, right?
Well,
Okay, makes sense, but that's just not an accurate statement about the NFL, in my opinion.
I do think when you say that college is more, however you phrase it, more pro ready, that's where I disagree. I think these guys.
I do too, because they've had multiple quarterbacks come out and talk about this.
The reason being is that these college offenses to the pro offenses could not be more different. I think the gap is larger in how they run their offenses in college.
So why would you say
than it ever has been? I mean, look at the.
Let's say you're right. Why do players like Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, all these early picks come out?
They ran Stafford for one ran a pro style offense.
Well, that's
college.
what I'm saying.
He was under center a lot. Where a lot of these guys are not used to being under center. They've taken so long to develop. I mean, Jalen Hurts.
Is this just a Caleb Williams conversation? Because
Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud has not looked that great at times.
Well, what?
I mean,
that's Charles Guy.
I know, but you can go through the list of any guy that's been drafted. I mean, Jaden Daniels has looked okay this year, but he looked really good last year. But I mean,
well, he hadn't played this year; he's been hurt.
That's true. So I'm not gonna pick on him, but I mean, you've got a lot of guys.
That's a bad path.
Yeah, it is. But you have a lot of guys who are supposed to be the next best thing, and they find struggles, and everyone's like, why are they struggling? I mean, we saw it in the Gruden QB camp when Jackson Dart or whoever it was like, Gruden's like, hey, give me your cadence, man, and the guy goes, that's it. These guys are literally clapping in college. Like
I agree. I just don't think that's what makes a quarterback. I think that's something very easy to teach comparatively to being prepared to play at that level.
No, it's just an example. I agree with you on this. They're not developing quarterbacks as well as they used to. Like the offenses are streamlined more to where if you get a guy in the pros who's running a similar offense, yes, they could slide right into it. But
well, and that's why
look at them in college. They look to the sideline for their calls 9 times out of 10.
They run the meerkat offenses where like somebody yells something, they audible, they all look to the sideline.
My only point is there are tons of players over the last few years of the group that we would consider elite quarterbacks that played very early and played very well very early.
Who?
They are definitely coming in more ready to play pro football. I'm not saying they're playing the same offense. I'm saying they're coming in way more prepared. They've got technology and things to study defenses. And have all those things.
Jaden Daniels.
They might have more at their disposal.
They might have
more
stuff.
Physical
These
talent.
guys are stars at 23 now. That never happened.
Well,
hold on. We veered way off the path. My original comment about that was to highlight that I don't think Kellen Moore is in a race to get Shuck on the field this year, which he's obviously not. And I also don't think he's going to be in a race to rush him out of getting his chance next year. It feels like they are going to just skip quarterback altogether, even if they have the first pick.
Well,
do you think that's the right move?
I don't agree with it, but I think that's what they're going to do.
I don't think we should force a quarterback pick.
Real quick, what does Rattler do great?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that.
Is there anything? No, I'm just saying, like, what could he be seeing?
I don't think Rattler's...
No one's going to argue for Rattler doing anything great here.
He's never going to say that I'm not trying to win this year.
Of course, that's my point.
Say I'm
100% this is lip service.
But by continuing to play Rattler, it's kind of saying that because, or hell, I don't know.
Or Shuck sucks, guys.
Yeah,
he could just suck.
That's possible, too. He could be
it's a great
not learning. He could be repeating mistakes in practice. Like we think Rattler's repeating mistakes by being inaccurate in 4 straight games. Shuck could be doing some shit in practice that we would be equally disgusted by.
Yeah.
I mean,
he became the 9th player to lose their first 10 starts ever in the history of the league. Yeah. So that's something. Now, 2 of those are Hall of Famers now.
I was about to say, Troy Aikman and
Warren Moon is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean it's over, but it's a difficult thing to do.
I also don't think Kellen Moore is looking at the 0-10. He's looking at the 0-4.
I think he's definitely looking at 0-4.
Yeah. No, but he's not worried about the 6 from last year.
He shouldn't be worried about it at all, but I'm just saying it's not an easy thing to do as a quarterback. I don't see y'all said he's developed. I don't see a lot of development.
No. We said there was improvement
But
from
what?
last year.
From last year.
TD
From
to
last year,
interception
those are
ratio? I mean,
No, he's not taking the sacks at a ridiculous pace anymore.
He's definitely more decisive. He's
he's
not,
30th,
He looks better this year, doesn't he?
30th in yards per attempt.
Nick,
even
no
though
one's
his
saying
rate
he
of-
looks good.
I'm
We're
just saying.
he looks better than last year. He
If
looked
we're-
awful last year.
I mean, he looks the
better.
same to me. That's what I'm saying. It looks
No, he
very
looks a little
similar.
bit better.
Looks very similar.
He looks a
But-
little bit better. Like now, I
that's why I
firmly
think
believe he's in the league for the next 10 years as a backup.
That's why I think
last
it's a
year I'm like,
step.
this dude might be out of the league in 3 years.
No, you didn't. Well, you said Hayner was in the league for 10 years. I was
Yeah,
like,
I don't see that. But
Hayner's going to hang around, man.
at Trader Joe's cashier?
He's going to be cashing more NFL checks than a lot of these guys. It's third year. He's cashing checks. I'm just telling you.
He's
Coaches
practice
love that
squad
guy.
check. Yes, he's
Hanging on by
cashing
a thread.
kind of a check.
That's cashing checks.
Kind
Nathan
of.
Peterman is on someone's team. Someone's
Is he
practice
still?
squad. I think so.
Really?
Anyway, but
He was at the training camp. Probably not now.
I think the diagnosis on Rattler so far is that he improved, but it's a plateau so far. Like it I don't think it's been a continuous upward.
It went from here to here.
Yeah, exactly. Like
But that is an improvement. It's baby steps.
so.
I don't think it's going to go much higher than it has, though.
Your Nathan Peterman is finally gone. He is not on a squad right now.
Now, how many years did that? Because that dude is the worst
You were-
quarterback in
you were
NFL history.
bursting
How many
Max's
years did he
bubble.
play?
Let's see. When was
No,
he?
I knew he wasn't on the roster now, but he was in training camps and he was on the team last year.
Drafted in 17, so he did not make it 10 years.
Well, I would hope not. That dude is statistically the worst quarterback in NFL history. The only reason he doesn't have more consecutive losses to open a career is because he didn't get the chances.
I don't see. How many games did he start? Let's see. He played 3 games, played 6 games.
That's college, bro.
Yeah, that's Pittsburgh. Hold on. How many did he start? He started 5. He went 1-4. So
He
he
won
won
a
one.
game.
He won a game.
What team did he win a game with?
Buffalo, first year, went 1-1. The year he had
He had
the
2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
yeah.
Does that say 1-7?
Well, that was the 5 interception game. Remember?
Yeah. He's terrible.
Then
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
7 seasons.
7 seasons.
It ain't over for him. Watch him come back on some teams. Those coaches love those shitty players, man.
All right.
Anyway, that's a little.
But it's
little
just
tangent.
hard to see an end game with Rattler. I mean, it just
No, it's easy to see an end
We
game.
all-
He's a backup.
as a back. But I mean, in terms of this year and what Moore wants to do, it's like it's
I think
There's
he is on the
nothing-
field as a starter
Yeah.
until Moore feels comfortable putting Shuck on the field as a starter.
right.
Because
And-
I think Moore is he put his eggs in the Shuck basket when they drafted him 40th, and he's going to give him the best chance to succeed.
And it's
I'm not saying I agree with it. I wouldn't do it. If we had a top 5 pick next year, I'd probably take a quarterback.
I think
If you're drafting in the top 5, you don't have a quarterback unless they got injured in week 1. So
Drake May last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it proves it's against it. It proves me right.
it's an example. But the thing is,
they had just drafted him, though. It's a different
Doesn't matter.
situation.
They drafted him, and then they had the 2nd or 3rd pick.
they
again.
didn't.
Okay, if you haven't drafted a quarterback in the last 3
When you
years
say you have a quarterback, you mean like someone who's already played well and gotten wins
that
for
you
their
think
team.
is your quarterback of the future, you
They
simply don't
obviously
have him.
thought that Drake was
Yeah.
the quarterback of the future, and he's looking
Right,
like
but
it right now.
it was the year off, and he didn't even start the whole year. But of course, they were committed to Drake. We do not have a first-round pick quarterback. We haven't made the pick yet.
We have a 2nd-round pick quarterback, and they might give him. I think they're going to
And
give him
those
the
are
chance next
nothing.
year.
Those are not the same thing
I
as a top
agree
5
with
quarterback.
you, but I'm telling you, I think that he's going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
don't-
it's the right move.
I don't.
I firmly think it's the wrong move.
I don't
What's
think
the-
they're that dumb. I
but
don't think
also-
anyone's that dumb.
but what's
I
the
just don't.
point?
If
Is
we have
it-
a top
You
5
don't
pick,
think Loomis is that dumb?
But what if the QBs?
you said
don't
Loomis
think
had to
that
make the
front office-
decision. I don't think a coach is that dumb.
What if the
that they wouldn't
QBs
take a
are
QB if Rattler
garbage?
was
What if they are actual garbage coming out this year?
Who?
The QBs.
That's
I mean,
possible.
like it's looking like that, or you're going with Lenore Sellers as the top developmental.
Well, he
guy
wants
right
to
now.
develop somebody, so let's develop somebody. Let's develop someone with real talent.
But if you got, that's why you have to compare.
Chuck has talent. We just don't know if he has it between the ears.
It's like I said
does have
before the
talent,
draft
though.
this year. If you're going QB that high, you have to also. I mean, A, he's got to be a sure bet starter, but B, you got to compare the opportunity cost by passing up on one of the other guys. Like, how good are the non QBs?
If you're
it varies
marching-
every year. I mean, some years you have some of the best looking non QBs in NFL history. The guys just.
If getting a
I don't
guy
know
pro
who-
snaps is not part of development, I don't know what argument we're having. If you're going to sit Shuck as we go 0-7, 8, 9, 10, why?
You're preaching to the choir. We are
So
firmly in the camp of he needs to be playing right
I'm
now.
just saying Kellen's full of shit. That's not where his head at. He's not telling us where his head's at with that. I'm saying he's talking
His
to the
actions
media.
are telling us.
I don't
He's
think
talking to the
his
media.
actions
I don't
are
think he
telling us
needs
something
to either.
different.
But it's
He shouldn't.
Yeah,
he
doesn't
should
have to.
totally lip service everything.
Yeah.
Look, do what Belichick did. You don't need to know this shit. I'm trying to win football games.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have no problem with him doing lip service, but I think that's what it is. I don't think it's a tell on his
No.
strategy going forward.
Nothing he says is going to give us any clue as to what
He's-
he really wants to do.
Rattler's now 30th in attempts still. He dropped down to tie Bryce Young. 21st in yards, 4th in attempts, 18th in QBR.
30th in you said 30th in attempts, but Bryce Young,
Yards per
completion?
attempt.
Yards per attempt.
Got it. 30th.
Yeah, because I know his
There were
attempts
two
are
people
high.
worse.
Bryce and Cam, I think.
Yeah.
And Bryce is tied, I think, but he's lower on the total, so it must be a decimal situation.
Yeah,
But Cam's blowing.
I just look at it and it's like it's got to be frustrating for more because he really dialed up some good looks yesterday. I thought I agreed with the Philly special, or some calling it Gentilly
I
special.
loved it.
Some calling it the roast beef po' boy special.
Whatever.
But whatever you want to call it. But I mean, he had some good plays, and like I said, there were multiple points where there were guys getting open, and if it wasn't Rattler being inaccurate, then it was a receiver dropping the ball, and someone who's supposed to be your
Or a
number one
receiver
guy.
a
being
certain
inaccurate.
receiver.
It was Olave dropping the ball. Yeah, or Juwan.
Did he have a drop yesterday? I missed it. if
Yeah,
he did.
Juwan
He did?
definitely had a drop.
Did
at some
He
point.
did?
I didn't see it.
Pretty
if he
sure
did.
early.
I saw the two Olave ones that were terrible.
I saw him running to the sideline where he went down really awkwardly.
Oh, it looked like a sniper.
He tried to tear.
It's like almost
Did you see
texted.
that?
He tried to tear
I mean, I
both
don't- I don't know if it's
ACLs
too-
in the same play.
I don't know if it's
Both
too
his
soon to say
legs-
that, but I was like, "Oh shit, somebody got him."
Both his legs locked up at the same time, and he just went over.
I was waiting
his
for you to
knees.
text me like, "Were you at
you-
the game?"
If you did that, there's that meme of like the guy reloading and people falling.
Yeah.
Like you could definitely do that.
So
with him.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and change. Chris Olave to me will now be known as Lance Moore. Because he's
Don't do that-
basically-
don't do that
he's
to Lance
basically
Moore.
Lance Moore.
Don't do that to Lance Moore. I would rather Lance Moore right now.
Well, no, I mean people
Lance
talk
Moore
about
didn't
him
drop
like he's
that.
prime Michael Thomas.
Right. No,
he's,
like-
he's actually Lance Moore.
I think
he's not
worse-
even that.
He's not. No, that's a disservice to Lance Moore. I mean, you got to go with like the way he's playing right now is like Brendan Coleman. No. You got to go way down.
I'm trying to think of a receiver that was highly touted that like a
Kenny
similar
Stills.
path. No, Kenny Stills. That wasn't his issue.
Stallworth?
Kenny Still was a one-trick pony. Stallworth is decent. That's
He
a
was a
decent
first round
one.
pick, right around
Yeah.
the same area.
I like Stallworth when he was.
Yeah, he was like 13 or 14.
13 or
Stallworth.
14,
a
right
few
around the
picks
same
later.
range.
Yeah.
I was pumped when we drafted him. I'm like, this dude's a badass.
Actually, call him Brandon Cooks.
Well, Cooks didn't drop the ball a lot either. Cooks was just average from the jump. He didn't screw us over with
Cooks was
Y'all gonna have the Cooks Kelvin Benjamin argument again?
No,
Cooks was
Max
good.
conceded.
Cooks was good.
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
He was not a one, which was the whole argument.
Well, now we're on the topic of the other person who is not a one, and that is Mr. Olave.
Yeah, I would say Olave needs to elevate to get to when Cooks was playing at
Also,
his best.
I love how the
To get there.
Cooks. Wait, say that again.
He would have to elevate how he's currently playing to get to best years of Cooks.
So for those of you listening who don't know him,
Yeah.
that is a scathing commentary on
He's a-
Chris Olave.
I mean,
He's not a one receiver right now. He's not even a one. Is he a top 30 receiver in the league right now? No.
and he's also it's such a double-edged sword for him because even when he is getting open, the QB that's throwing to him isn't seeing him or is deciding not to throw to him, and so there's been a couple times he's juked people out of his pants. He has gotten so much separation between himself and the defenders, but either the QB misses him, or he drops it, or the QB doesn't even
The
throw it to him.
QB certainly
So
mix him on the touchdown.
It's like, God, the chance of success, which is the ball going in the air, or when Olave gets open, the chances of success, which should normally be like 75 and up, are like 30 at best.
he needs to change the scenery, man. It's just best for everybody just to get him the fuck out of here.
He's probably hoping for Shuck to come in just so someone can actually get him the ball. You know?
You would think.
he's third in the league in targets. Third.
Yeah.
What's his
so-
average per catch now?
7.1.
Yeah, so I guess if he's third in the league in targets, then yeah.
He's getting opportunities.
He's getting
And he's
opportunities.
dropped. How many are we crediting? We're crediting him with at least 4 drops by our
Don't have it on
standards.
there? He's got to have
no.
drops on there, right?
They don't.
It's
Big plays, by the way, 0, just in case Underhill was checking. There's 0 bigs. So 14 is his long catch of the year, 4 games into the season.
that's yeah.
How about Shaheed? What are his stats now?
Oh, it's not good.
No, I know. It's not good for any of them. I don't think anyone's over 10 yards a catch.
Shaheed is 18 catches on 25 targets, 9.7 a catch.
Yeah.
He's creeping up to 10.
That dude is a speed demon. How is he averaging 9 a catch?
Because we don't
What
have
is
a guy.
Cooks at?
Let's see.
We don't have a guy that can get it to him downfield.
Is Juwan not at 10 a catch?
Yeah, he is, I think. I skipped over him. I'll go back and look. I'm looking for Cooks, but I'm digging deep here.
You got to go far.
Yeah, we're past. There he is. 11 for 98. 8.9 a catch.
Sweet.
Kamara's under 4 a catch. 15 for 49
All right, give me
on the
Juwan.
season. Juwan's up here always. He's got a good target share.
One of the leading fantasy football tight ends.
He's 22 for 204. 9.3. No, we do not have a pass catcher with a 10-yard average.
Yeah.
Is there not one person who has one catch for like 10
Yeah,
yards?
I think Vele has one catch for, right?
Hey. All right, maybe he's worth that 4th-round pick, huh?
I don't know.
He played 4 snaps, 4th-round pick, 4 snaps this week.
I understood it in weeks 1 and 2, maybe a little bit, but especially the way the game was going yesterday, I'm starting to get a little bit more perplexed. Like, we got to get that dude out there more.
We might have the fastest receiving core in the league. When you look at the top
doesn't
3,
matter.
They can't get more than 10 yards a catch right now.
There's some tweets out there that I just choose not to engage on. I'm like, I don't have the time, but one of them that any Saints fan easily could have engaged on was one where they showed like
this has to be
showed like the broken down house with a Ferrari in the front. It's like
wait, Rattler was the Ferrari?
No, but it's like describe this scene, and it's it's like a broke down house with the Ferrari, and it's
So
like
who's the Ferrari in this analogy?
I think like the fast receivers.
We do not have a single receiver that's averaging 10 yards a catch.
Yeah, I thought we just established that.
No, I thought Vele
we
had
just went through them all.
it, but he must have caught another one and he dropped
His
to
touchdown
8.
pass was like 4 yards. I thought.
He had a 13-yard catch, and he's got 3 yards on the other 2 catches.
Yeah, his touchdown pass was real.
I thought that was a slant.
I thought it was from like 5 yards in. I could be wrong.
Okay, maybe he had a negative play, but I don't know if I've ever seen that. Ever.
Hold on, look at the longs.
Yeah.
The one Shaheed catch with the PI, then you got a 21 and a 20. So you got 3 20-yard catches on the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, not to make this a whole like depression fest about our offense, but it's just what.
Well, here's the thing. I
what are
don't
we
think
gonna
it's
be?
I don't
I
think
mean,
it's the offensive scheme. I think it's the quarterback.
Yeah. No, I think Moore's.
With a certain receiver contributing a little bit.
Well,
too.
the first the first game and the Seattle game, we couldn't even get the offense moving because of all the penalties. And then San Fran was what it was. I mean, it's all looking very middle of the road, and it's a combination of the quarterback and then
The one thing I love
your
this
top
week
receiver dropping it all the time, and Juwan.
is Kellen is obviously trying to change things because we finally ran the ball more than we threw it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what has to happen. You have to accept that Rattler is not good enough to go win
And
games.
Penalties way down.
Yeah, that was way down. 4.
That was
Four
huge.
snaps were basically eliminated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like,
no,
I think we did have one in the first half. Second half, I don't know if
We still had a false start here and there,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like repetitive. And there
there was 2 at most.
There wasn't a wide receiver going in motion and going before the snap, but there wasn't an illegal man downfield. Not even that many holdings really on our account.
Look, I'll say this. If they do what they did yesterday, which is be competitive for the entire first half, you were in the game basically the whole game until the fourth quarter when the Bills pulled away. If you can do that every week and keep us entertained, and, you still end up with a top 3 pick, sign me up for that this week.
Because it's like
I'm
what
good.
it's a big picture argument. Like, what are we really looking at this year? If it's Rattler,
I just want to be competitive.
you're just
and get a
competitive.
top pick.
I mean, and you got to find ways to work around him if that's really going to be your guy. You have to lean on the run, offensive line, more creative play calling. But he's been calling it okay. It's just tough.
I love the way he called this last game. I'll be honest with you, I really do.
The scheme, this past game was great.
You know what also would have helped too, and like you said,
We finally got
competitive.
Kendra touches.
Yeah.
Kendrick got touches, but flipping to the other side of the ball, I think this is a totally different game if the defense is tackling at even half as better of a clip. I mean, we were missing a lot of tackles.
Yeah, but that's also the best.
on defense.
That's the best
It's the best
offense in the
offense
league.
right now, but
Yeah.
but we had them like they got a lot of yards after contact yesterday, but
They did, especially in the run game, which hasn't happened to us yet. But again, it's one of the best running teams in the league with a quarterback who can run and a running back who can fly.
we're not going to be able to begin to tackle Camp Scattaboo if we're ever doing that shit.
I think they'll be fine with a Scattaboo. I think our defense struggles with those super quick guys that just hit it and go.
It's too bad you're not going to be able to be in your seat if there's like a goal line possession with Scattaboo and DeMario going 100 miles an hour at each other. You're going to be able to hear that from New Orleans East.
That's
good. The irresistible force meets the immovable object. Yeah.
I hope they hit in the hole just to see what happens.
That's right. We'll be on location at the beach.
Yeah. Our annual.
Actually, so speaking of on location, why don't you fill us in on your trip?
Oh, yeah, we didn't get into that.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, the Bills fans are cool. Actually reminded us. I did not see any
you
table
there,
diving or anything.
What time? So the game was, 1 p.m. local time?
1, yeah.
So what time did you get out to tailgate?
Oh, probably got there at 10.
How was the scene?
It was packed. Yeah, it was awesome.
It
felt like a college game, kind of.
Yeah.
People
their fans could just, they know they're playing a winless team, but they're in a 1 p.m. kickoff.
Oh, I'll tell you, there's a lot of Saints
there.
fans in these motherfuckers because they were scared shitless the whole time. And I'm like, only we do that. Like, we'd have Breeze, we'd be up 14 and be sitting there like, man, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh, they were just us.
Yeah. They're like, listening to them talk and stuff, I'm like, oh man, these people have been punished just as much as we have over the years.
Yeah, true. But they were also probably pissed because they were playing below their standard.
First half, for sure. But,
So, did you see any tables get smashed?
Not one, which was sad. And I started asking around about it because I was looking for it. And apparently they've put much heavier security and tried to crack down on it.
Even on property that's outside the stadium, they just...
We were outside.
This is a nice town, okay? You can't be cracking tables in Buffalo, New York.
Maybe I'm just unlucky, but I seeked it out and I could not find
Nick's
it.
Nick's walking around like, you got any of them tables?
Yeah. Anybody?
Who's got them tables?
Somebody jumped through something. That's why I'm here. Or light something on fire or something.
I did see a video where somebody, it appeared to be from this weekend, somebody got one in.
I'm sure they do. We could have been in the wrong spot for it, but there were people everywhere.
Sounds like could have been the only one.
Well, speaking of people, who did you get to hang out with?
Saints
got to meet Jim Dombrowski, which was awesome.
Jim Dombrowski.
That's a childhood favorite. He was at the same tailgate. Which
did he bring his Saints jersey to the game?
He did not.
Are you sure about that?
He was in a fishing shirt.
Are you sure his jersey was nowhere around him?
A friend of the family had an old, or one of the relatives of the family, I guess, had his old jersey from one of the 80s years, I think is what she said, and she was wearing it as a full dress. It was big enough for her
and
dress.
it was like below her knees. It wasn't like, it wasn't a hard.
Wasn't revealing.
Yeah.
Covered everything.
Because you sent that picture, and I'm like, oh, this chick's wearing a old 80s 72 jersey. I didn't even think that was the only item. And I looked at this, it was like the second time I saw like the little that square tag they have at the bottom of the jersey. It's like around her calf.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, she's wearing the jersey as a dress.
I thought she had made it out of jersey material, and then I asked, and she's like, no, this is the jersey. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, the jersey itself is 6 feet tall.
Yeah. But he was a super cool guy. He talked about the old days. He says he still keeps up with a bunch of the players, and they get together regularly. And
some of those offensive linemen, they have fingers that go like 5 different ways. Did you happen to notice that?
No, he's just a giant human. Like, it was unbelievable.
That picture, he looks like he's 3 times your size.
Corey will post it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I posted it on our story, but I can throw it up on the Twitter.
Yeah, it's comical. But, really nice guy. We got to talk to him for about an hour before heading to the game. And
nice.
Honestly, the game was fun to watch. It was hot as hell.
It was entertaining,
there,
man.
Which is kind of weird, The sun was out the whole time. It was in the high 80s, I think.
Well, when the graphic when they started the game said, beautiful weather, 72 degrees here in Orchard Park.
It didn't feel 72. The sun was beating down. It felt
stadium temps are always like 10 degrees higher or something, I feel like.
And so last year, Rich Stadium, well, formerly Rich Stadium, I guess they call it some bullshit company now, but Rich Stadium's last year where all the Buffalo Greats played. So their new stadium was up across the street, almost complete.
Came away with a little memento from
I did. I told everybody
that is
there.
a cool-ass helmet. Is that one of their color rush, or what is that?
I have no idea. I just thought it looked cool. I just told them I'll buy something, Bills memorabilia, if we lose.
Show it off for the video.
There you go.
So he actually bought it on the way
Maybe
into the
Corey
stadium.
can...
well, it's got the liner, so,
And we got Jim Kelly on there. Ooh, how
Jim Kelly autograph. Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way.
So
there you can see it says Hall of Fame 2002. So the legend.
Still NFL fans around here.
They're probably my second team I root for behind us, I would say, over the years.
You look for teams similar to us.
You empathize with them?
Yeah,
big time. And I have a lot of friends who are big fans of theirs, so, it was
actually
a lot of fun.
from there.
Yep, from there.
There's a local bar in town that's a Bills bar. I can't remember what it is, but I've seen videos. They always have a huge, crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not like hundreds, but I mean, at least 50, and that's impressive for a Bills bar.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I'm firmly in support of them winning a Super Bowl this year.
And
As long as it's not at our expense.
it won't be. So we're clear. We've got a clear
Yeah,
runway
yeah.
for that.
It's still early. It's still
Scenario
early.
that might come into play.
Still early. You can't lose all hope.
You know, I mean, we
right?
definitely need to state that for the record, just in case we do meet up with them in the Super Bowl.
You can't be accused of
Real quick on the defense, one thing I want to say was disappointing was the run defense. I felt for a Josh Allen game, we knew our secondary could get roasted. Mm-hmm. They definitely had the one play with all the missed tackles that was bad, but otherwise we gave up a few throws for sure, but he kind of felt in check other than that huge play.
Yeah. I think the pass rush was kind of okay. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't like he was constantly under pressure. There were definitely some plays where he had time to throw and did his thing that Josh Allen does.
There isn't a team in the league who doesn't think they're going to have to score 30 to beat the Bills, okay? Mm-hmm. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You need to score 30 to beat the Bills.
But
they scored 31. Okay.
I was surprised that I figured James Cook would have success against us. I was surprised he had 100 yards in the first half.
Me too.
That was a lot.
Yeah, all of us thought that we would do a good enough job of slowing down.
I figured he'd get 100. Yeah. I figured he'd at least get 100 because he's just a good running back. I figured he'd have 100 total yards. I didn't think he'd have 100 rushing. Yeah.
The one thing I think, and I'm checking this right now, but I don't think he had a 10-yard carry.
I think he did.
It might have been at the end, maybe at the very end.
Yeah, no, he didn't have a breakaway, one breakaway run.
Because when I looked at the stats before my phone died.
I think that sounds accurate. I mean, because he's just that. He's sneaky.
Where's this game?
Death by 1,000 paper cuts. That type.
It's pretty amazing, man. I mean, Dalvin Cook was one of the best running backs in the league for a couple of years, and then right as he fades out, Lil Bro comes in and just steps right in. It's just wild.
I remember watching him when I was obviously he's a dog, and watching him in college it was a lot of fun. But you never really said.
But it was weird though. It took him a while to get revved up in college.
It took him a while when he first came in. I mean, you think he's skinny now.
Oh, he was tiny.
Oh my God.
You and I talked about it. He looked like a wide receiver. Because
like
Dalvin Cook was one of my favorites coming out of college, FSU. So you and I always talked about James.
He was so skinny, it was literally like a liability.
He was like 180
to put him out there. It was risky to put him out there for safety. But
there was a stretch where he didn't look like he was going to do.
But when you look to I don't know, what was it, our first or second national championship season, but
look at that little quiet flex right there.
I honestly can't remember. I can't remember which one. But
I don't know if it was the first, second, third.
Maybe it was the first one. But he really showed out. Had more breakaway runs, and if he got open, showed that you weren't going to catch him. But he did seem to, maybe it's just the way Todd Monken used him in our offense when he was there, that I think people kind of pigeonholed him into, look, he's good, but he's only, his real values as a receiver. He's not going to be one of your, bell cow running backs, but he's shown to the contrary in Buffalo.
But it's the perfect offense for him.
He's very similar. He's a slimmer AK to where like you can put him between the tackles because he's never going to allow himself to take that big of a hit, or rarely.
So he had on back-to-back plays, he had a 10-yard run and a 15-yard run in the third quarter. When I looked at it at halftime, he did not have a run over 10 yards, and he got 2 in the third quarter back-to-back plays. But when you're getting 5 a play, that's worse almost. It's
look, it shows what the difficulty the Bills present, because when I was looking at the snap counts, Alante Taylor playing 90-something%, that tells me we were nickel a lot. And if you're a nickel a lot against the Bills, it's because you're concerned about the threat Josh Allen presents to Shakir, Coleman, Kincaid, Knox, all those guys being on the field, even Cook coming out of the backfield. So it makes sense to run nickel. But when you do that, it's rare that you're going to have DeMario and Pete on the field at the same time with your typical run stuffers. So it makes sense that he was able to successfully get 4, 5, 6 a carry because the fronts aren't that big. So it's very much a pick your poison game when you're a defense going up against the Bills, and that showed. So they held I think we held our own for most of the game. They just kind of pulled away at the end, and obviously our offense didn't help by keeping their offense off the field when they needed to.
We were scrappy and competitive, which is all you can ask in a rebuild.
Look, it's against possibly the top team this year. So even if that team, the Bills, had an off day, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So we're 28th in points given up. and we are 29th in points scored this year.
That's about right.
That's where we're at. So you are a bottom 5 team. Like there's no real debate about it. I think the yardage we rank a little higher in both, somewhere around 20. But if you're giving up one of the 5 most in the league and you're scoring the 5 least, you're not going to win a ton of games. And
no, it almost feels like a prolonged preseason season where you're like, we're at the point now where, of course, we want to win, but it's like I think a lot of fans would say, like, the thing I want the most is to see that we're making progress.
Yeah.
To see that this new staff is working, that some of our draft picks were good picks, that, we got Senker looks to be a good one, Banks looks to be a good one. Can we have another one show out?
Quincy Riley's next up.
Quincy Riley, just progress from the draft picks, see that the defensive fit, the scheme is working. Maybe it's a couple players away. See that Kellen Moore's offense is, a good scheme versus the wins. It's kind of like the match point. Like, you want to be scrappy, and it feels so
I think we got to look at it. We got to look at it quarter by quarter,
it,
and we're at the end of the first quarter, even though we have 17 games now. So
I think
3 of the 4 we were scrappy and competitive. One of them we got blown out of the building. So, but look, right now we are slated to have the number 1 pick, pending tonight's wonderful Monday Night Football game between the Jets and the Dolphins, where both of them are 0-3 as well. And it looks like the Jets have a lower strength of schedule than us, so they would probably jump us.
Yeah.
I was just talking about, this season-long preseason that Corey was saying. 0-4 teams to make the playoffs. I don't know if this is right, but I think it's 2.
Yeah, it's very...
So the season is essentially over. Probably if you lose next week, the season...
There's a 2% chance.
2% right now, right?
Not 2%. It's probably less than that, but 2 have done it.
It's 2 out of 154 if the article I'm reading is up to date. So
okay. So 1 point something.
So 1.6.
You're telling me there's a chance.
We're going to be the ones. So... We're on the edge of the season being over with a couple more bad performances. And then I think what we do, if that becomes the case, as far as how we run the personnel out there, who are we trying to look at, how the coaching staff approaches it will be really telling about where we're at and what we're thinking for next year. But
it's going to continue to be wholesale changes. It has to.
Well,
you getting Taysom and Foster back soon?
Yeah, I think I would hope they see. Well, but again, we're excited they're back in practice. But as we know, we've seen it before. They're not a guarantee to play just because they're being activated off the pup or whatever it is, whatever the term is. But when you look at the personnel, it's like, I don't think Cooks was brought in, but I don't think
Cooks was brought in when Carr was still on the team.
Right, he wasn't brought in to be like a guy that's going to be there.
He's played fairly well, if I'm being honest.
He hasn't really dropped any. And
that's not caught any either.
That's saying something.
Well, I think Rattler finally started looking to him this week.
Well, let's do this. So anyway, we go quarter by quarter. So the next 4 games: Giants at home, Patriots at home, at the Bears, Bucks at home. So you got 3 home games. You got the Giants who just picked up their first win.
You can win any of those games. Bucks is a division game. Those are always way tighter than they should be. The other 3 are teams that are probably, I would definitely take ahead of us, but not by a lot.
Yeah, not by a lot. I think.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and lump the Rams in too, since there's a 17th game. So we'll call it this quarter a 5.
The middle quarter.
Yeah, the middle one. So you get the Rams after that, and then that's the last game before the trade deadline. So we have 5 more games until the trade deadline.
And I'll just say this: for people talking about Olave and trading him, yes, you were first about a couple years ago, and you had to delete the tweet because of all the backlash you got. But I find it hilarious, but also predictable that now the timeline is lighting up with trade Olave when he has no value. You're not getting anything for him.
It's the same thing as everyone bailing on Rattler like it never happened. Yeah. Or the people that have. Some are still on there. I get it.
Well, the reason I put that tweet out...
Wait till you can't get shit for him to say we trade him.
Right, and the reason I originally put that tweet out was because
he has stayed healthy.
You realize that a player is not elite, especially at the wide receiver position where their salaries have just gone fucking haywire over the last couple of years, cut bait.
Yeah.
And I was, it's like, what? We're going to end up having to trade this guy in a couple of years anyway. Just
it was Loomis's patented move all through the Sean Payton era. Sproles, Graham, Malcolm Jenkins. He didn't let any of these guys see their peak out with him, and he really hung on to Olave though.
I mean, that might just be out of just hoping he turns it around because of what he did to get him. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not the guy. We know that.
We've known that, though.
And he's going to want the money. We're pretty certain of that. So you cannot sign him.
You can't.
I don't know who pays him that, though.
Somebody will.
Jaguars or someone will
pay
do
him.
it. Browns. I don't know.
Look, Christian Kirk got a big deal, and players like that get big deals because someone thinks it's like you see the hot crazy chick, you're like, I can change her.
He
It's
has
that
to
meme.
start putting some good tape on film though this year because it's not been a good year of film. For
It
him.
has not. This is the first time you can say, like, okay, remember the year we were banging on him, he had 0 drops by the books, and you're like, what?
And he still had a few good plays sprinkled in where, it was like, damn, like he'd make the circus catches and you're like, that's why we got him. Or his supporters would say that anyway. But yeah, I think, look, you said it. It was good, scrappy, competitive. Hopefully we see more out of this team. And I think, you can make a good argument that if you do bring that same level of competitiveness that you brought to a hostile environment against a really good team, bring that to a Giants game, to a Pats game, maybe you squeeze out a win. So hopefully in front of the home fans.
I think this is their stretch to get a win, these next 3 games.
They'll probably win this Sunday since we won't be there.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to miss the one.
It might be 7-6. I'm worried about that defensive line in Rattler. This is where it could come off the hinges for him.
I'm worried about Jackson Dart killing our defense.
I'm not worried about that as much. I'm worried about Rattler getting killed. I mean, that defensive line is scary.
Yeah.
He just shut your boy down.
Bosa?
2 picks.
He did have 2 picks. You're right.
And they were missing Malik Neighbors and starting a rookie quarterback. So
he had 120 yards. I wouldn't get too geeked out on Jackson Dart too
I'm
quick.
not getting geeked out on
the
him. I'm just saying
defense
they shut your boy
could
down,
cause
so.
us real problems.
Who's next boy?
Justin
Herbert.
Oh, yeah. No, they could, for sure.
That defensive line.
They've shut everyone down so far this year. They lose, except for Dak, sadly. Dak went nuts in the fourth quarter and overtime on him.
QB who's inconsistent going through progressions when he has a pocket.
Right.
And they're bringing that
They
to
will
line.
not. There will be. He'll be on his heels all game. That D line is so good.
So I guess we got to record. So we'll be at the beach.
So I
All
record
3 of us this
Friday
weekend.
night.
So we'll take the show on the road as we've done the last 2
Yeah,
years.
it's become a tradition.
I guess
There will be no Carl J, but maybe we'll have to see if there's any other
be Mike Parks.
wily characters hanging around.
Oh, there's some unruly characters that'll
Parks
be
won't
hanging
even have to
around.
dress up.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be there.
What?
No, he's not going to be there till late. But we got to crank out the episode early so we can get it out to the streets.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have to record in the daytime.
We could record on the beach.
We don't go to the beach when we go to this house. We just hang out in the pool.
So we go to the beach to record and then go back to the pool.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Corey.
It is a great idea. You'll come around.
No, I won't.
You can record by the pool. Make
There
sure
you
nobody-
go. Now that's a little bit better.
I'm compromising here.
There you go. We haven't been to that beach once. In like the 5 times we've been.
I'll get one of those floaties again, and I'll take the mic on the floaty and just talk from there the whole time.
If you will allow yourself to be video recorded in that same,
Outfit.
yeah,
I got the
for
hat.
lack of a better word,
I mean, it's not much of an outfit. It's a hat and shorts.
and a sweater.
Well, that's permanent.
Yeah. That
Human
reminds me,
sweat.
you got to get to make sure the pool's heated this time.
It should be.
It was fucking cold last time. Anyway, we've
It
rambled
broke.
on enough.
That's
You guys
what
have any
happens
other-
when it breaks.
Not a cold swimming pool.
I didn't see you in there.
Don't miss my pool time.
You literally took a picture of me in there.
That was 2 trips ago.
I went in last year, I think. Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
do we have any other thoughts about the actual football team we have a podcast about, or
no. But just it's gonna be a long regular season, preseason.
hey, just be
It's very
entertained?
nostalgic, reliving my childhood.
Yeah, yeah. Don't bring out the bags. Don't bring out the look. We are where we are.
Just be entertaining.
watch.
That's it.
Just
Be entertaining.
yeah. Look for the good. We're bringing the very meta energy to you right now.
Just be scrappy, and just put forth effort.
Yeah,
Effort counts this year.
absolutely.
Just put forth effort. You
and
don't have to win.
and character. Had to throw that one in there.
Lots of character.
Lots of character.
Like the Bills showing their character with O.J. Simpson's name still on the ring.
Retired, baby.
Good job, Buffalo.
It's a topic for another show, but they shouldn't take it down. Doesn't change what he did as a player.
Sure. He was found not guilty.
There you go.
Once.
You are an attorney.
Once. Then guilty.
He's getting uncomfortable. He doesn't want to go down this road
For
right
our
now.
bonus coverage, which we will not be doing.
We can do that at the beach after we've all
Yeah,
had
let's
some
please do an
drinks.
episode about O.J. Simpson and Darren Sharper. That would just be amazing.
I bet you we get a lot of listens.
Yeah.
All right, wrap it up.
All right.
Take us home, Corey.
All right. Once again, that's it. No more thoughts. So thank you for listening to another episode of the 28 to 3 podcast. Who dat?